Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the third edition of Voice of Global South Summit on Saturday. Over 120 countries from the developing world participated in the deliberations. The summit explored the convergences of these nations over issues of common interest such as food, health and energy security. Prime Minister Modi called for unity among the member nations and expanded India's development role in the region with the proposal of Global Development Compact. Here's more.
India hosted the third Voice of the Global South Summit on Saturday. The forum envisages bringing together countries of the Global South to share their perspectives and priorities on a common platform. The theme of the summit was An Empowered Global South for a Sustainable Future. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed concern about the current global atmosphere of uncertainty and challenges.
चारों ओर अनिश्चितता का माहौल है। हम क्लाइमेट चेंज की चुनौतियों का सामना तो कर ही रहे हैं और अब हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी, फूड सिक्योरिटी और एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी की चिंताएं भी है। आतंकवाद, अतिवाद और अलगाववाद हमारे समाजों के लिए गंभीर खतरा बने हुए हैं।
Talking about India's engagement with the Global South, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India has emerged as a first responder in situations of humanitarian crisis from Gaza to Papua New Guinea.
मानवीय संकट के समय भारत एक फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर की तरह अपने मित्र देशों की सहायता कर रहा है। चाहे पापुआ न्यू गिनी में ज्वालामुखी फटने की घटना हो या कीनिया में बाढ़ की घटना, हमने गाजा और यूक्रेन जैसे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्षेत्रों में भी मानवीय सहायता प्रदान की है।
In his closing remarks, Prime Minister Modi proposed a comprehensive global development compact that will assist partner countries in the Global South in achieving balanced and inclusive growth using India's experience in development journey.
भारत की ओर से एक व्यापक ग्लोबल डेवलपमेंट कॉम्पैक्ट का प्रस्ताव रखना चाहता हूं। इस कॉम्पैक्ट की नींव भारत की विकास यात्रा और विकास साझेदारी के अनुभवों पर आधारित होगी। यह कॉम्पैक्ट ग्लोबल साउथ के देशों द्वारा स्वयं निर्धारित की गई विकास प्राथमिकताओं से प्रेरित होगा।
PM Modi gave clarion call for unity among countries of the Global South. He called for closer cooperation in the domain of trade for development, capacity building for sustainable development, technology sharing, concessional finance among nations of the Global South. India has pledged $25 million for the Social Impact Fund. The Prime Minister said the upcoming Summit of the Future would be an important milestone to bridge the gap between Global North and South. With inputs from Amritpal Singh, Shubhendu Ghosh's report for DD India.
At the Foreign Minister session of the third Voice of Global South Summit, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar urged Global South countries to work together as family to facilitate flow of low-cost financing and critical technologies.
Takes place as the world grapples with multiple conflicts, tensions and stresses. We, the nations of the Global South, are particularly impacted. The purpose of this exchange of views is to define our interests through that process. Hence the theme of this session, charting a unique paradigm for the Global South. We must work together as a family towards facilitating the flow of low-cost financing and critical technologies to the Global South.
At the third virtual Voice of Global South Summit, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar highlighted the importance of global institutions and governance architecture and the need to reform multilateralism to revive its credibility, access to finance and technology to unlock development potential of Global South. India Stack and DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure, stand out as Indian contributions. Need for collective initiatives to show greater willingness to act on issues of common interest, making interdependence a strength through intensifying South-South interactions to ensure that exposures and vulnerabilities are not leveraged, increasing convergences between Global South countries on issues central to the region. And Minister Jaishankar said that the summit brought together the countries of Global South to share their perspectives and priorities on a common platform across a whole range of issues. Participants talked about various global challenges, including economic inequality, energy security, and impact of climate change.
One, of course, was that the problems which they all raised, which was the core of the discussion, where today food, health and energy security issues, the challenges faced on resources and accessing resources, the problem of realizing the demographic dividend, concerns about employment and about economic inequality. There was a very strong focus on their climate concerns. So almost every leader spoke about the extreme weather. Many referred to the emissions challenge, growing pollution. A few of them brought up specifically water issues, biodiversity, and the small island developing states were particularly articulate about their predicament.
An External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, addressing the media, said at the summit some of the leaders spoke about the world moving towards multipolarity, and this is reflective of the workings of the Global South. He said there is unanimity with regard to the reforms at the United Nations, which some countries said was much delayed and much needed.
Is moving towards multipolarity, and this is reflected too should be reflected in the workings of the Global South, where the UN and global architecture was concerned. I would say there was almost a unanimous view, in fact a unanimous view, that there was a need for reform, that this was much delayed. Some countries very specifically referred to who they felt should be permanent members of the United Nations. Really, we believe in a democratic world order. Then we think this 190 odd members should be allowed to vote about the future of the UN, like many of us vote about our respective futures. And we feel that process has been unduly and unfairly blocked. So our striving is in that direction. We know that it is not without its challenges, but we continue to persevere.
Broadly, Minister Jaishankar summed up the outcome of the summit, saying that there were broadly 10 points of discussion at the Global South Summit. These are as follows: food, health, energy, security issues, challenges faced on resources and accessing resources, problem of realizing demographic dividend for the countries, concerns around employment, economic inequality in the region, strong focus on climate concerns, broad concerns on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, debt burden faced by many members of the Global South, challenges of harnessing, adapting to new technology, and a lot on advocacy of sharing of best practices.